I don't normally drink soda, but my stomach's just been hurting all
there
day.
It is. Okay. Because I'm like, I don't know what I just did. But okay, there it is. Okay. Okay. Am I dark to you guys? I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
Oh, no. Okay, cool.
Okay, so when were you planning on doing this? Like once a week, twice a week?
Okay, so I was thinking...
Twice a week is a lot. Yeah, not twice a week.
Well, that settles that. Once a week. But, yeah, I guess you gave the introduction. I know people are now joining on, but yes, Ashley and I are starting a play reading club group. Like, what do we officially want to...
I don't know.
We'll say a group, I guess. That sounds more... No. Club sounds more elite. So we are starting a play reading club, group, whatever. But we are going to start reading a play. And, because as artists, we don't want to just slack. And not for nothing, but like art is therapy. So we're really doing this for therapeutic reasons. And not for nothing, but like iron sharpens iron. So, we just need to stay on top of things. And we love this play, Sunset Baby, Dominique M. We agreed on to just put M. because we can't pronounce her last name. But yeah, and Sunset Baby is just an amazing play. Do you want to tell them about the play, Ashley, or you want me to?
You should tell them about the play.
Okay, cool. So, this play is pretty much, it's a modern play set in our times. It's set in New York City, and we have two characters, Nina and her boyfriend. And so pretty much Nina's mother was a poet and her father was an activist. And her father, while going out to support the cause and the revolution, he ended up in jail. And so her mother would write letters to him all the time, these love letters. And so now these poems have become famous. People want to buy the poems from Nina, but she refused to give them up. And so now her father is out of jail and he wants the poems. Of course, a lot of things go into it, but that's just a quick synopsis of it. And it's just powerful writing, especially dealing with our times right now, when the revolution and why we should join the cause, and just really the effects of it. And so, yes, it's a powerful play. And since it's only 3 characters, it's only a 3-person's cast, but we figure that we can like hop around with the roles, to stretch our acting muscles and, to get feedback in our take, and pretty much this can lead into some character development eventually. That's what we're hoping for, which it will, it will. It's not even a hope, it will. So, yeah.
How did you find out about this play?
So I actually was offered an audition for Nina. And so I read the play. One, I'm just a really big fan of hers. Like with Skeleton Crew, I mean, I love that woman. Ain't Too Proud to Beg on Broadway now. I love her. So anyway, I got invited to audition for Nina, and I fell in love. Like I read that play in a matter of like an hours. And so, yeah, I fell in love with Nina. Like, we're doing this as a group, but please believe me, Nina, one day that is my role. Like, I love that freaking character. So to get all of us like reading for her, and not for nothing, for the guys too. I really think that it'll be cool for us ladies to read for the men, and for the men to also read for Nina and her father. But that's how I got introduced to the play during our love.
I like that a lot. I like that.
Yeah, because it's character development, like especially her father, because my whole thing is in acting, we're playing different characters. So it's all about, like, in London, one thing that I really started on was just developing, and encouraged to, was to develop my own methodology to approach the characters. So for us, all 3 of the characters are just vastly different, not just in their gender, but, the father, he's older, and it's just like, how do you feel being locked up, missing out on your daughter being raised, having your lover writing to you, all because of the cause. Like, what are you willing to sacrifice for what you believe in? And so it's like, for all of us to have an opportunity to kind of walk in his shoes and like understand his givens and his circumstances, I think it's a perfect play for some serious character work. Yeah.
Can you give me like a little snippet of something that you learned in London?
Yes. So
something that they taught you?
Yeah. So pretty much I was learning Lee Strasberg's technique to acting. And so he believes that, it's such a, I'm so surprised. I know this is an aside, but I'm so surprised in Atlanta there's not method classes. And it was two people that taught the method, but they stopped. Yeah, it was two people that taught the method, but they stopped. I already looked into it. So I think it's like you can get some personal coaches to help you out, but it's nothing like being in the action, so you're only kind of getting half of it. But anyways, and so I was learning Lee Strasberg's method. He believes that we are the instrument, and just like a musician has to fine tune and warm up their instrument before they start playing, Lee Strasberg feels that we have to warm ourselves up as actors, which is through basic relaxation, going through the body. And it's pretty much a method to get out of your head and get into your body, because Lee Strasberg just really believes in a lot of psychology, like with Sigmund Freud and the subconscious, on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like what is it that you want here based on these basic needs. And so it's so like in the beginning, honestly, like for the first week or two, we just sat down to just literally just figure out what we were doing, because it was just so much science behind it. And he's just all about the power of the subconscious, and that we can really truly have an organic performance if we, one, know where we are in ourselves. Like in basic relaxation, the first question that you would ask is, where am I right now? Am I happy? Am I sad? Am I frustrated? Is my ego ruling me? Am I thrived on results? Like, where am I? And it's just like to be honest with yourself. And once you know where you are, first and foremost, then you can proceed to work things out and fine tune your instrument through basic relaxation with vocal sounds. I know I'm giving you guys like the quickest rundown I can.
This is some really good stuff right here.
Yeah, and so you would do it through sounds. And so Lee Strasberg believed that in order to tap into our subconscious mind of part of thinking, we have to first get out of our conscious mind and get into our body, because everything we need has already been embedded into our bodies through our subconscious mind. So you would do like your basic relaxation working. Once you figure out where you are, then you would start working here from the neck, and you would move it into your body. And your aim is to get out of your head and get into your body, so your subconscious can kind of tell you where to go. So it's kind of like, I know we all learned about do your homework and then let it go, like that whole term and phrase that we all would say. But it's truly that, just magnified with science behind it. Like, you do your table work, you figure out everything that you need to. And that's another thing, actors, like, I do not, but I'm sorry, I got real hood real quick, my bad. But no, seriously, like I am so against actors who do not put in the work. Like, there's no way, as you as an actor are going to sit up here and say that I'm going to do this justice to my craft without having put any sort of character development, any thought, any research, anything. That's just stupid. That's retarded. But anywho, so Lee is saying you do your work, you figure out your givens, you figure out your circumstance, you figure out all of that stuff that's going on. And then once it's time, you get out of your head, you switch on your body, and therefore you're going to have an organic performance each and every time, because you're working from where you are, not where you think your character should be. So one time we would keep working the same scenes over and over. We didn't switch scenes up quickly. Like, some people in the class was doing the same scenes for like 2 years, because of this method guarantees you something different every time. Because one day I was working from grief, and so my performance was driven by that. One day I was so happy, and so my performance was driven by that. It's all about where I am, and I'm going to thrive forward with that. So, so pretty much that's kind of what the method is. The way my teacher was, if it wasn't true, then it wasn't going on the stage. Like, he would stop it instantly. Do you believe that? Did you believe what she said? I didn't believe that. You're lying now. Where are you? And then if you needed to figure that out, you go back to the chair. So pretty much once you figured and done your basic relaxation, then you would pick a tool. So this is the tool of Lee Strasberg, which is sense memory. So sense memory, it can be personal objects, it can be places, things, whatever. So you would focus on that sense, using taste, smell. How did I see things? What was the smell going on with it? So for me, for example, one time I used my grandmother's house for my sense memory. In the tool, I used my grandma's house. So I remembered how the house looked. I remember the smell of her cooking greens on a Sunday morning. I remembered the palm tree. And honestly, I surprised myself because these are things that I have not thought about in years. Yeah. But that is what Lee is saying. That's the power of the subconscious. Your subconscious keeps track of everything your whole life. So he's like, if you can allow that to move you forward, then you can tap into a place of your art that is just truly surprising, honestly. So back to that example, I used my grandmother's house. So I remember the taste of the mangoes. I remember seeing her garden in the backyard with the grapefruit trees and stuff like that, tasting that, I remember feeling the doorknob, you get what I'm saying? Or feeling how my hands felt climbing that tree. And so I used that. So that was my sense memory. So once I got my sense memory down pat, then I would connect to my scene partner and let the magic begin. The magic just truly began. I'm not going to lie. I did work up there that I surprised myself. I did work that I only dreamed of doing. And all of it, my goal as an actor, and it depends on your goal. My goal as an actor was to always be extremely organic. I always wanted just to be the most organic that I can be in the moment, living in my truth. So this method worked for me and what I was aiming for. And I did just pure work. And I really, truly surprised myself. So Lee Strasberg method works for me. Is something that I'm going to continue using. It kind of blurs in with other things. I know some of what I said kind of reminds you of the substitution method. Of course, learning so much Chekhov, I incorporated that and would use a lot of the moment before and things. So yeah, it's just all about eventually experiencing every piece of them, taking what works for you, leaving what doesn't. But Lee Strasberg works for me because I have so much personal trauma that I can pull from.
Oh no, definitely the very first day that we do this, we should definitely explain these terms. The first day that we do this, it should be 30 minutes of play reading, but in the beginning, 30 minutes of explaining what these terms are to the actors.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You and I know Chekhov and Stanislavski and Strasberg, but a lot of these other people didn't go to school for this. So we definitely should do
I agree. And if anything, honestly, what I took the most from Lee Strasberg's method was basic relaxation. I truly am an advocate for actors relaxing, because Lee Strasberg's whole thing is you cannot truly be in the creative state of being. That's what he calls it, living and breathing in the creative state. And so you can't be in that creative state if you have blockages, which is tension. You can't operate with tension. Even an athlete, everyone knows that. So when there's tension going on within yourself, it's blockages to your creative flow. That's what he calls it, the creative flow. And so, like he says, I'm sorry, let me get this right. So Lee Strasberg says, if you are truly in the creative state of being, there is no such thing as a distraction, only potential usage. So, for example, when you think about when you are truly in the creative state of being, there's no such thing as a distraction, only potential usage. So, for example, like we take Leonardo DiCaprio's performance when he was in Django and he cut his hand. So that's like the perfect example of being in the creative state, because he was so in his creative state of being to where when he cut his hand, it didn't become a distraction to him. He didn't just say, oh, I cut my hand, let me stop. No, he was in the creative state of being. So there's no such thing as a distraction, only potential. So he used that and he took it with his art. And now Django is like, that scene in Django is going to go down in history about how he smeared that blood on Kerry Washington's face. And that's because he was truly in the creative state of being. And that's where I want to say we, but I know everybody doesn't feel that way, but that's damn sure where I want to go with my art. That's where I want to be. Always in the creative state, always creating, always creating, always creating.
Yeah. Yeah. Yo, that was real. Another thing that I wrote down, I'm going to type this up and send this to you tomorrow.
Okay. No rush.
Sorry. We should talk about relaxation techniques as well.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think that's where I was going at. In my opinion, I think basic relaxation is the most important. So, yeah, we definitely have to do some basic relaxation techniques. Like when I was at AMDA studying acting, we would get on the floor. So, you know, a lot of us are like trained to relax from the floor, from the diaphragm, breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, hold 1, 2, 3, 4, release 1, 2, 3, 4. But with Lee, he's just like, don't do it on the floor, do it in a chair, because you can put your weight on the chair and like truly work it from the hips and like with your leg and all of that stuff. So we do our basic relaxation in the chair, and we're doing it for 20 minutes. Just working everything out, but for 20 minutes. Like seriously, it's not a quick thing, because that's the work. That is what E. Strasberg considers the work, is in the basic relaxation, finding the sense memory. That's the work, you know? And then when it's showtime for the scene, then you go with that. So I would love to do some basic relaxation exercises. And we can like explore different ones, because I know when I was with Tom Scott at the Actors Gym, like we did it through breathing. But Lee Strasberg is pretty much doing it through your body, relaxing every single kink and area all the way down. But while you're relaxing, you're pretty much, it's like his is focused on an objective. You're not just trying to relax and breathe. You're trying to get out of your conscious thing. You're trying to get out of your head and into your body. So it has an aim, and so it works better for me. And I think that's the biggest thing that I take away from it, because like one time in the beginning of basic, you know, where am I? And I was nervous as shit. Like that's where I was. I was nervous. I was anxious. My ego was in control. I wanted to do a good job. I wanted to represent my country well, represent my race well. And so that is where I was. And I had to be honest with it. And the more you do this method, the more easier it is to identify where you are. So right now, you get what I'm saying? Like, give me 30 seconds and I can tell you where I am right now and be honest with you about it, and then move forward and go in my work. So yeah, we definitely have to. I know I looked up some articles, because maybe like we can read through it first so people can kind of get an idea of what we're doing, and then we can try to practice it. But as an aside, before COVID happened, Sam, my teacher, he was actually like, me and him was planning on him to come down and teach a class in Atlanta. So he was coming. He was going to come. Yeah. But COVID happened. I mean, she's still going to come, but we just don't know, because he was coming in like either September or October. Sam was coming down to teach a class for us, because I'm on level 1 compared to his level 100. Like the man just is shit. And so he was doing Zoom classes, which was really nice. Like, I'm sorry, I just have to brag on Sam really quick. Like, Sam was literally charging £1 per class. So for the whole entire month, for 16 classes, all I paid was 16 pounds, which is like $23 US dollars. And the class is 2 to 3 hours long. Yeah, it's because this man believes, it's only because Sam believes in the art. Like he believes in the purpose behind it. Sam is just like, look, I'm old. I don't know if my career has any more juice in it, but I have a group of actors who love it, who want to get better. So let me refine them so they can go out into the world and make it better. Sam always says, if you want to change the world, become one or two things, either become a politician or become an artist. Those are the two ways to create change in the world. So it's just like, so he was just like, since we are all artists and we're all studying our art here, then let me train these group of actors up so they can go out and change the world. And that's what he believed in. So that's why Sam was able to charge $1 for a class for 2 or 3 hours long, because he didn't care about the profit. He cared about the process and who he was training up. He believed in us. He believed in us. And he changed my art. He changed my art. He was a game changer for me. So it's like, for Sam to be willing to come down here to the United States, I want everybody to experience this man because of just so much that he did for me. So yeah, hopefully that can still happen.
I actually have a confession that I've never told anyone about out loud. So this happened maybe 2 years ago. I'm sorry on the tangent, but this happened maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know if you remember. I don't think you ever met Lauren. Not Black Lauren, White Lauren from the theater program, and she reached out to me. She was like, "Hey, I'm putting on a play. It's completely organic. It's completely like, there's really no structure. I want you to come down and be my lead actor to New York." Ooh. And I was so excited. Oh my God. I was like, yes, like I get to go start performing again. Like, and it's like I could be free every night. It'll be different. It was going to be one of those shows where you walk into the room and there's performances going on, but you can move around the room with the actors. And I was so pumped, but I didn't do it because I got scared.
So the basic relaxation will work for you. Because that way you can identify, okay, where am I right now? I'm scared. So now that I know this feeling, let me work it out. So the whole aim is that you are completely different than how you came into it. You know, you're not completely relaxed. Like if I'm start off like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous, let me relax. And I'm doing all these breathing exercises, but I literally come out of my relaxation the same exact way that I went into it. What did it really serve? It served nothing. So yeah. So it's just like, that's why it's not like okay, let's breathe for 5 minutes and 2 minutes and go on our way. No, we are working this shit out. That's why it's just so important to it. So it's like, if you did basic relaxation, having those scared feelings, you would then hopefully leave out of your relaxation, letting all of that ego go, because that's what it is. Like the scaredness, the fear is all our ego. When it comes down to the hierarchy of needs, it all falls under ego. So it's just like you will eventually let that ego go. And now you're in a creative state. That's how you should leave out of, hold on, I'm sorry, somebody just sent me a message. So that's how you should leave out of this, in a complete creative state. And again, that is the key to unlocking brand new work for me. I'm not gonna lie, because the substitution, the sense memory, I've been using it for a long time now, so it wasn't new. But the relaxation was I'm sorry, we're on live. I was about to use some. But seriously, it was the relaxation that was a game changer for me, to where I was able to, because I would just be so overwhelmed, and then with me, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I am a structured actor. I believe in the structure. Get your ass at the table and figure out that damn script. analyze the script, figure out your characters, figure out your givens, put your beats, make your units, break. That's like me trying to be a preacher and don't read the Bible. You know? Well, how can you do that? How can you do that? Like, you know, I sometimes go on set and I see these actors with like these blank pages, like where it was just the script, like it's nothing on the page, no highlighter, no nothing. And I'm just like, what work did you put into this? How dare you insult the craft of acting by coming on this set saying that you are going to represent this character and you haven't put any type of work into it? That is unfair to the art. It's actually an insult, and I get insulted by shit like that. So my rant is over. I digress. But yeah. So yeah, we will definitely. Honestly, before we rehearse, before we practice, even if my scene partner was just coming to my house to rehearse over the scene, the first thing, once we talked about the script, because that's important, so you and your partner's on the same exact page, because you get what I'm saying, that's like a script. Like, if I believe that the character if I believe that the character's religion is Christian and you believe that the character's religion is Hindu, did I pronounce that right? Buddhism, Buddha, Hindu, whatever. Like, how can we ever connect this character if we have two complete different outlooks? So during our rehearsal, first come in, we would sit, we would talk about the script, talk about how we felt about it. And then before we rehearse, it was always, all right, you ready? You got your chair? Let's do our work. Because that is the work. You get what I'm saying? Your work is different, but warming up, finding your sense memory, finding what you're going to use in the scene and relaxing and doing that basic, that is the work. You get what I'm saying? It's not going up on the stage and then rehearsing your lines. No, the work is in the tool and the work is in the relaxation. Once you put in that work, everything else is, you roll the dice, you'll see what you get. And that's why Robert De Niro and all these actors, they're method actors. Scarlett Johansson, they're method actors. And we all thought that the method killed Batman, the Joker, Keith Ledger. Like, no, that's not what the method is. It is not you. If I'm playing a stripper, let me go out on the streets and start stripping. If I'm playing an alcoholic, let me go out on the streets and start drinking. No, that is not what method is. Method is believing that your body is an instrument, basic relaxation, finding your sense memory tool, and then letting the scene go where it goes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh man, you're making me miss. You're making me miss this. How dare you?
Seriously, because I mean, especially now, like, you know, actually, I know we briefly talked about it, but I'm not gonna lie. I live with my father who just got out of a situation with his health. I won't disclose this information, but I cannot go out there and risk getting infected because of him. You get what I'm saying? So protesting isn't my alley. That's not my outlet. Although I'm proud as hell of it and I respect every single person that does it. But that's not my way to change. My way to be effective is through my art, starting with my scripts, my plays, script writing, figuring out, and honestly just fine-tuning my craft. Because if I can be the best that I can be as an actor, then you're going to feel it, they're going to feel it, and then the change starts with, because really racism, everything, like, we can come up with the structures, but really it's a matter of the heart. It's the heart, you know, and until people's hearts change, then we're not going to have the true change that we want. You know, we can have, we don't just want justice, we want equality, and equality from an area of the heart, the changing of the heart. And I believe as actors, that is what we're good at. That is what we can do. And the way for me to do that is to fine tune my craft so that I can fix my instrument and align my instrument to be able to go out there and do that work in the best way that I can. Yeah.
I'm so excited. I think this is gonna springboard something really huge for you.
You think so?
Oh my God, yeah, bruh. You just went on like an hour rant about the method. Like there's so much passion in that. Like,
I do love it. I do love it. And one thing that I found back in London was the love and the heart of why I started. Because sometimes it can get lost in the industry. You know what I'm saying? Like, we get so wrapped up on Facebook when we see, oh, I just got booked. And it's like, in a way, if you're not careful, you can begin to feel inferior. And you begin to kind of equate success to bookings. And they are not the fucking same. They are not the same. Because, in my opinion, I am the most successful that I have ever been. And I'm not working at all. I literally told my agent to put a pause on me. Because I'm not ready to go out there yet. I'm not ready to start acting yet. Because I am that interested and dedicated in really digging into my craft. And that's where greatness starts. That's where it starts. It's the passion, and it's not about the ego. It's not about the big name and the this and the that. No, like, go back to the heart of why you started it. Like, whether it was that first play that you watched, like mine was Into the Woods and Sweeney Todd, you know, in high school, like my drama class, I took drama as an elective, and I watched Into the Woods and Sweeney Todd and completely fell in love. It was like Cupid's arrow just hit me, and I was like, there's nothing else I want to do. Changed my major once I got into BAG. I was like, oh, this is a wrap right here. Changed my major, and I've been doing it since. And it's like, I feel like being in Atlanta, I kind of got lost in the motive. I got lost in the success and the bookings but I needed to get away from that, because that's not why I'm doing this. Please believe me. If you don't believe anything I say, please believe this. That is not why I act. It is not for the success, not for the bookings.
Yeah.
It is strictly because I love this, and this is my way to change the world. So I'm going to fine tune it. I'm going to take acting classes. I'm going to figure out my craft. I'm going to explore the different tools and methods that I can use to be better at it. Because you eventually want to be great, not just be working. You don't want to just be working. You want to be great.
Yeah. So I hate to turn this into a therapy session, but I just kind of lost that love. So what would you recommend that I do to rediscover that love again for performing?
One, get around people who also love it just as much as you do. That is the first thing. Like, I had to pull myself out of the atmosphere that I was in because it was too distracting to me. Mm-hmm. You know, like, I feel like I was being pulled in just so many different directions. Oh my gosh, my agent has to call me. Did I get this? As a, you know, and then at the same time, I'm like in love with my characters, but then I'm like, you know, so the first thing I suggest is to get out of that atmosphere and get around people who love that craft just as much as you do, you know. And I found that, luckily, in the classes that I was taking, I found all of these other artists and the teacher who just love the craft. Secondly, once you get in that group, in that atmosphere that you need, and again, that's why I think this play reading is going to be so good, because we're all going to be in the atmosphere, in that type of atmosphere, to just grow in our craft, you know, because what's going to come out of this? Like, we don't plan on, at least I don't see it that far. We don't plan on doing a live play or a live this or live, but we're just doing it because we love to do it.
Yeah, don't focus on the end result.
Not at all. So I think
Do you remember that feeling? Do you remember that feeling where it's the last show and you're like, I don't want it to be over. Yeah, oh my God, I know that feeling so well.
Yeah.
It's like, we just rehearsed just because, you know?
I know. Like, I was going through some old photos, and it's like, I was going through my photos, and I saw all the pictures from when we did No Exit, and like you had like your bob going on.
We had such a hard time finding a space. Oh my gosh.
No Exit, believe it or not, was like the first play that I read. And I'm so happy that was the first play I read because it was so thought-provoking. I mean,
such a good freaking show, man.
And at the end, I even remember the last line, where he said that hell isn't a place of fire and brimstone, but hell is other people. And can you believe 10 years later, I still remember that line like it was yesterday because it had that much of an impact on me. Like Estelle, my character, she changed my life. She was the jumping point for me, baby. It was a wrap after her.
Estelle, she was so you. That was like perfect for you.
But yeah, so one, the atmosphere. Get your atmosphere. Get around artists who love the craft just as much as you do, who wants to grow, who doesn't have a hidden agenda. Get around people like that. The second thing is to dive into the methodology. Like, who is it that I want to study? Do I want to study Uda? Do I want to look into Stanislavski? Do I want to do more Chekhov? Do I want to figure out what Lee Strasberg is talking about? Figure out your method, because it's a method to acting, just like it's a method to playing the piano, just like it's a method, a method to paint. Like, granted, we do improv, and again, that is what improv is. It's just going off the fly, just going based on how you feel in that creative state. But in order to properly do improv, you first have to know what it is that you are doing. Exactly. That's like me,
exactly.
Like I can pretty much like with my cakes, right? I can just make a cake just based on how I feel. Like, ooh, let me do these ruffles, let me do this color, let me do this, let me do that. But you better believe there's no way that I can improv with my cakes if I first didn't learn the technique of making cakes, if I first didn't learn the method of actually making cakes. So once I have my method locked in, and now that I know the different tips to use, the different type of icings, how to pipe a bag, how to do a beaded border, how to do a straight border, now that I know what I'm doing, then I can just pick up that damn piping bag and do whatever I want. So, but first you have to figure out, what is the method of this? How do I even go about doing this? So that's why casting directors need you to have experience on your resume. It's not like they're just saying, oh, we want you to have experience because it makes it look nice on the education section. No, they're saying you need to have some sort of training, some sort of classes, some sort of something, because you need to know what you're doing. Yeah. And so once you know what you're doing, then you can figure that out. So one, get into a good atmosphere. Two, figure out what method's going to work for you.
So, and to piggyback off of that, it's not only knowing what you're doing, but also simultaneously, when you do get the role, throw it all away, and so you can start from scratch.
Yeah. Yes. For sure. And and then again, that goes to the table work. Like I said, I'm an advocate for table work. Get your ass at the table with your script and figure out what the hell is going on. Like one of my teachers told me in LA when I was at AMDA, he said, in a script is an actor's Bible. It shows you the truth, the way, and the light, the way that you should go. And so every time I get a script, I see it as, okay, this is my Bible. This is going to tell me which way I'm supposed to go, how I'm supposed to do it. What's the grammar? The grammar is going to tell me how, because the writer wrote it, how he wants it to be performed. You just bring it to life, but you can't leave out the structure of something. That's just like, let's say my line is, the dog went outside and got hit, period. I miss my dog so much. I'm not going to say the dog went out into the street and got hit. I miss my dog so much. You know, and that's why we get these actors and we're just like, oh my God, what are you doing? Like, what is this? What is this? It's because honestly, half of them just ignore the grammar that was written to help them out. Like Shakespeare, I just took a Shakespeare workshop on Thursday. And with this woman named Emma, yeah, right. Who knew? Like this little black chocolate girl is learning Shakespeare, y'all, and she loves it too. But yeah, and so all Emma did was like have us like underline the periods, circle the semicolons, write out the dashes, and we did like an exercise just around the structure. She's like, because honestly, when it comes down to Shakespeare, the structure tells you how he wants it to be said. So it's just like as an actor, we get all these clues, but you know, you don't know until you actually go to a class and, you know, figure out what it is. So it just always goes back to the beginning of just starting, just finding a teacher that you respect, finding somebody that you like, and just figuring out what method works for you. And like me, I'm combining a lot of them together. Like I love what just Michael talked about with the moment before, you know, and so while I was doing, my Lee Strasberg and using my tools, I applied that checkoff with the moment before. And then towards the end, once I couldn't get my tools keen, because I haven't been learning the method as long as some other people have, because it gets stronger the more you study it. So I was able to just drop substitution right in there in the drop of a dime. So, you know, so now because I've been exposed to so many different techniques, I'm mixing them all together to come up with my own methodology, which is what Strasberg did. He was a student of Stanislavski, and he came up with this method, which is a Lee Strasberg method. So that's where you want to be ultimately. So yeah, atmosphere, figuring out your method, eventually coming up with your own methodology. And I think the biggest thing actually is just really trying to figure out what type of actor do I want to be? What kind of art do I want to create? You know, because if you know, like me, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't take every script offered to me by a long shot. I say no more than I say yes. I say no more than I say yes. Because it's like, all right, this script is cool and dandy, but this isn't the type of actor that I want to be. I'm not going to take the script. It's like, have your integrity, you know, figure it out. What type of actor do I want to be? I don't want to just do random things. Even if it's a comedy, I'm the type of actor that needs my script to have some sort of strong transforming message behind it. So anything that just doesn't is just a waste of my time, because I don't even know what I'm even aiming for when I do the script. And like comedies have messages. They're just created in different ways. So yeah, figure out what type of actor you want to be, because it's going to be easier to kind of figure out your path and which way you want to go once you know that. So yeah, I think that's the advice that I would give you.
Thank you. Man, you're so freaking smart and so wise. So have you heard of Marina Abramovic?
I haven't. Tell us.
I like once I describe this, you'll be like, oh, I've seen that before. But she used to do I don't know if she still does anymore or not. She used to do shows where she just sits with people and just makes eye contact with them. But it's so emotionally charged that like they always end up in tears. And she did this thing once where she and an old lover, they met at the center of the Great Wall, and then they walked the whole wall opposite ways, and they never talked to each other again.
Oh my God.
Yeah, just talking about that. I was like, oh. But then one day he showed up to one of her shows, and they hadn't talked to each other in years.
Oh my gosh.
I know. She's amazing. No, she was building a place in New York, like an interactive experience. But I don't know if it's done yet or not. And I've always wanted to go and be a part of it.
Wow.
Catharsis is the word I'm looking for. Jesus Christ, catharsis. Her work is very cathartic. And sorry, you go.
No, you go.
So I was thinking, maybe, I don't know why Thursday nights pops into my head, either that or Saturday nights.
I like Thursday nights. Thursday nights are actually, I think that's actually the one day I don't have class, because I'm actually still in classes. You know, a lot of people don't know, but I'm still taking classes in the UK. Luckily, you know, coronavirus benefited me to where I can still be a part of my classes. So yeah. So Thursdays is actually the day that we don't have class. So I think it's perfect. It's perfect. And I wanted to say about that eye contact, like, so my classes are like monthly intensives, and it's intense, you know, because we're taking class from 10 to 1 and then from 7 to 10. So we're doing 6 hours a day for Monday through Thursday. Yeah. Like, you get what I'm saying? It was intense, y'all. It was intense. That's why it's called monthly intensives. It was intense. Every day I was going home just drained, and like my sleep was so precious because that's all I had to recuperate before it was back again into the room.
I missed that though. I missed that drained feeling, you know?
Yeah.
Just saving it for the stage. Oh my God, I missed that. I missed that so much.
Yeah. And so on our off, so because the months are so intense, like we do them every other month, but in between that, we did voice and movement classes. And so the voice class was so freaking good. I mean, the way this woman, like one time she did a whole class just on like the consonants and the vowels and just how those just make your text so different. But anyways, I won't go into that. And so for our movement class, we actually had to do an exercise to where we stood adjacent from a partner. Look at me, so fancy. I could have just said across. But yeah, we stood across from somebody, and all we had to do was just look him in the eye. And it wasn't like, you know, at the beginning it got a little uncomfortable because, you know, after 1 minute you would think, oh my gosh, 60 seconds is a long time to just be looking somebody in the eye and maintaining that contact. But she kept us going for like 10 minutes. I'm sorry, hold on 1 second, forgive me guys. She kept us going for like freaking 10 minutes. And I'm telling you, by minute 2 or 3, it's like all your secrets was gone, all your walls were gone, and you were just able to bare your soul through eye contact with this person. And it just really helped us to just not, what's the word I'm looking for? It took away a barrier. And it's just like you allowed somebody to hear and look into who you were at that moment. And it's just like, you know, her point being, this is how intimate theater is. It's that intimate to where we allow our walls to come down and we say, here I am, I'm bearing my soul. And a lot of people can bear their soul, but it's just like allowing them to see it. So it was a powerful workshop. It reminded me of what you said about what the lady does. Yeah, we did some exercises like that. Really powerful. Really powerful.
I'm really so stoked for this and excited. Oh, I'm so excited. So before we go, I hate to put you on the spot, but do you want to read something from the play?
I don't even have it pulled up. Oh my gosh, can we do it next time? Ashley, you read something from the play.
No, I'm scared.
Okay. Well, boom. Like, yes, you read something from the play. I don't have it pulled up here. Right? Maybe we.
Hey, I can pull it up.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Read us something.
Have you seen any good movies?
Yeah, I actually have. I watched Carmen Jones starring Dorothy Dandridge. How do I pronounce his last name? Dandridge. Dorothy Dandridge.
I've never seen that.
It's such a good movie. I love Carmen Jones. I mean, oh my gosh. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I instantly just fell in love with this character. Like, I want to be Carmen Jones one day. I see why, you know, Holly and Rihanna and Beyonce and Janet, like, I see why they do the pictures and stuff like her, because she's just the most confident character I think I've ever saw in my whole entire life. And she just had this excellence about her. She was so poised. And me personally, I love classic black and white movies. I love them. I can literally give you 20 right now off the bat. And so like in that golden Hollywood era, like I love Joan Crawford is one of my favorite actresses. Betty Davis is one of my favorite actresses. Rita Hayworth. Now Dorothy Dandridge is definitely in that running, because I mean the movie, it was so powerful because the message was all about living for the day, because it's just like she got this prophecy that she knew she was going to die, like with her grandmother. She was in like fortune telling and stuff like that. And so, you know, it's this one moment where she got the 9 of spades, which represented death. And she just did this song about how, like she said, the man is coming for me. But until this man goes, it's like she had like this epiphany. And it's just like, she's like, you know what? Until this man comes and gets me, I am going to live every second, every day. Like I'm going to be living until he comes. She's like, I'm not waiting for him. He's going to have to catch me. I'm going to be living while he comes. And it's just like, it was so freaking powerful. Like I've already just like stopped the song, stopped it on YouTube, the lyrics and everything. And so it really helped me kind of get back going into things like, all right, like it's time to live, because the man's coming. He's coming for all of us. So to live, he's not going to catch me waiting for him. He's going to have to catch me. So Carmen Jones was fantastic. I also watched Delia with Joan Crawford in it. Amazing.
I haven't seen that one.
I love it. I just think the writing was so rich. Like I had no idea what was going on. I'm just like, is her daughter a vampire? Like, why can't she go outside? Like, is she locked into this house? Like, what is going on? But it's just like, it's not one of those movies where you're like, oh my gosh, what is really going on here? Like, this is complete garbage. I don't know what's going on. It was more like this writing is so good. What is going on? Like, it was really that element of surprise and just so unpredictable, you know. And once all the way at the end, we realized that she had the skin condition. Everything came together, and it was like, so I love the era. That era, you know, because I thought the writing was so much richer. It was so organic that the actors, like, I can't tell that they're acting. All About Eve is one of my favorite movies. I own that movie. Yeah.
Classic.
And the way they act and talk and speak in that movie, it's just like, how was this a script? Like, it's like hard for you to imagine that it started off on paper, how organic and real the actors are. And so people tell me that I need to watch TV more, but I do watch TV and I watch stuff like that. Because that's the type of artist that I want to be.
My TV is always off. I don't watch TV. I listen to YouTube videos about educational stuff. I was listening to this video today, actually, that said that go through your search history on YouTube, and I'll tell you what your future will be.
Ooh.
Yeah. Real. Okay.
I felt so good. We write that down. That was so good. But in that case, like, if somebody glimpsed into my watch history, the future is bright.
I love that.
It's like random stock market videos, like Warren Buffett. What did you do to become rich? Like, seriously, it's just all kind of stuff. Like a lot of subconscious. Like, I'm serious. This year, I really started diving more into like, what is this subconscious? Like, I went back to that psychology behind it because it's so powerful. Like, let me give you guys a fun fact, and maybe this can like encourage you, you know, to really monitor your thoughts.
We have 20 seconds left. Instagram's gonna kick us out.
So, okay.
So
I can do it in 20 seconds. I can do it